What's up, everybody? I'm Blessed and Free. Welcome back to another episode of DOC TV. What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing. I was just thinking I was going to go, and this is Matt Cox, and how are you doing? I mean, I don't.
I'm going to keep all this.
I mean, okay. I mean, I'm much more relaxed.
All right, let me get back to this real quick for a second. All right. So, man, we've been trying to get this recorded for a while. We're trying to figure out the audio. As you guys can see, it's a different setup. Trying to put some back into the channel, man. Let you guys, see nice in-person interviews. We're going to be dropping more of those. Today, as you guys can see, we got the infamous, the one, the only, Matt Cox. Matt, what's up, man?
What's going on?
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Are you?
Yeah.
What's been going on in your life, man?
Nothing I can talk about.
No.
Nothing. I'm moving. Yeah, moving. And what else am I doing?
Well, real quick,
That's it, bro. That's all I'm doing.
For the people that don't know you, you're obviously on this channel. You've been to prison, federal prison, in fact, and you did a lot of crime. I mean, for the people that don't know you and they're just tuning in, explain to them a little bit about your crime history.
Okay, so my criminal history is I owned a mortgage company, got caught for mortgage fraud, ended up getting in trouble for like a minor mortgage fraud, and then went ahead and decided to start creating fake people. I ended up borrowing $11.5 million in synthetic identities. And then when the FBI showed up to arrest me, I took off on the run. I was on the run for 3 years. I was #1 on the Secret Service's most wanted list. The FBI was looking for me, U.S. Marshals. And I think I stole another $3.5 million while I was on the run. I mean, it's just, it's what I do. So, so then eventually I got caught and I got sentenced to go to prison.
Well, I mean, you've been on the channel before, and we kind of went through a little bit about your story in different episodes. I'm going to link those in the description, so for the people tuning in, you can go check those out. But in your story, we were kind of at where you were breaking away from your bipolar crazy chick. And
Becky.
Yeah, Becky. Fucking Becky. And you were, leaving her, man. So now you're on the run. You got away with how much money from her? What'd you guys come to an agreement on?
We argued, and I think she kept like $500,000 or something, and I ended up getting $100,000.
Damn, Becky's dirty, man.
Yeah, she is.
That's fucked up.
It's funny because every time I mention this to guys that are in prison, they're like, so, like when I tell the stories in prison, like this is the mentality, the difference between telling it to some guy that works at Walmart and some guy that's been in prison. Like you tell it to the guys in prison, like the guy in the Walmart's like, man, that's messed up. The guy is in prison are like, why didn't you kill her?
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
I asked you that, I think.
Yeah, they're always like, why didn't you kill her? I mean, it was $500,000. You could have killed her. She was already on the run. Nobody's looking for her. Like,
well, she had to have got you to a point where you were like, man, I would love to kill this bitch.
Oh, listen, I definitely was at that point, but I just couldn't do it. I can't do it. I'm not that guy.
Right, you're not a killer.
Yeah. It's, it's too bad. It's a flaw. It's a flaw.
You got you caught up.
Yeah, I'd still be out there if it weren't for her. Like the whole thing just unraveled because a lot of it unraveled because of her. But so what happened was I ended up with getting like $100,000. I jump in the U-Haul van, driving down. I drive into Charlotte, North Carolina, because when I left Becky had all the IDs. So she's got all the...
Damn, and she took all your shit.
It was all in storage.
Oh, okay.
So I don't have... Like, it's not like I can get the $100,000 and I can say, hey, I need the key to get the storage. Like, she's not giving me nothing.
Right.
I'm lucky I got the $100,000. So jump in the car and I'm driving, and I end up picking up like a track phone, and I called a bunch of friends of mine and was just talking to them. And friends back in Tampa, called my mom, called my ex-wife, called a couple of friends and a mortgage broker. This one mortgage broker I talked to, named Susan Barkas, she used to work for me, and she's told me, look, the FBI's talked to me a bunch of times. Why don't you call them? You could try and work out some kind of deal to get to like a reduced prison sentence. Like at least call them, hear them out. So I was like, all right. So I end up getting another track phone at a 7-Eleven. It's like a big gas station, but in it they had convenience store and they had a Subway.
And when you say track phone, for the people that don't know, you mean a burner phone, some that can't be traced.
Right.
Okay.
So I got like a Virgin Mobile,
right.
One of those phones, and I programmed it, and I sat down, and I ate a Subway, and I ended up calling this FBI agent, and she says, her name's Candace Calderon, and she said, hey, Mr. I was like, hey, this is Matt Cox. She's like, oh wow, how are you? We've been looking for you. I said, yeah. I said, well, what can I do for you? She said, you could turn yourself in. I said, yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And she said, well, let's talk about this. She said, I mean, we're going to catch you eventually. And this is now that I said it, I remember. She goes, she said, we're going to catch you eventually. I said, yeah. I said, what's taking you so long? And she says, well, you are cocky. You are cocky. And I said, well, I mean, I'm not, I said, look, I said, you want me to turn myself in? I said, I'm not stupid enough to turn myself in without some kind of deal. And she goes, well, that's not how it works. You turn yourself in and we take it into consideration. I said, yeah, I'm not going to do that. She goes, well, let me call. I said, she goes, let me call the U.S. attorney. So she calls the U.S. attorney. She calls me back. Oh, I know what she said. That's what she said. Boy, you are cocky. I remember this. Before she called them, she goes, you are cocky. And I went, right. I said, okay. I said, all right. She said, that's what she said. She goes, we're going to catch you eventually.
But you were being cocky.
I was being cocky, but she was being cocky. She was very rude. Like, very rude, very unprofessional.
I already have it in my head of how she was being, because there's you always run into one like that, man.
Yeah, listen. When I meet the other FBI agents at your office and they tell me they don't like you,
yeah,
nobody in the office
cunt.
likes you.
Yeah, you're
right. It's like you guys work there.
Yeah,
you're telling me that they're like, oh yeah, she's a problem.
She's like a RoboCop type cop. Yeah.
So she says, so she's going on and on. She says, oh, we're going to catch you and this and that. And I went, okay. I said, well, listen. She said, eventually, she goes, look, eventually you'll go home, back to Tampa. Somebody will recognize you. You'll get pulled over and you'll get arrested. And I went, well, I said, she goes, oh, we're going to catch you. I said, listen. I said, let me explain something. I said, first of all, there's nobody in Tampa that I want to see. I said, two, I'm not dumb enough to go back to Tampa. I said, I've had multiple plastic surgeries. Because I've had a nose job, I've had a facelift, I had 2 hair transplants, I had my teeth done, I had liposuction, I had gynecomastia surgery. You know what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had bitch tits, and I had the. I've had all kinds of surgeries. Like, so I didn't look. I was like, look, I said, listen, I have plastic surgery. Like, nobody's going to recognize me. I said, as a matter of fact, I got a ticket the other day. I said, I've had so many tickets, I actually went to driving school with somebody else. I said, as far as me getting pulled over by the cops, I said, listen, I'm not stupid enough to drive around in a stolen vehicle with a broken taillight and a body in the trunk, okay? I said, if I drive in a car, it's got full coverage insurance. It's got an auto loan. It's in the name of the person that I'm in, and I have a driver's license. I've had over at that point, I had like 20 driver's licenses. I've had over 20 driver's licenses in different states, and I just went to traffic school with somebody. I said, I get tickets all the time. I said, so if you ever want to have this conversation in person, you're gonna call and get me a deal,
right?
And she was like,
"You're a savage, bro."
She was like, look, you have to think too. I don't know what deal she could have offered. Because in my mind, it's like, look, I'll play with you and listen to you and hear you out, but I'm not thinking about turning myself in. Like, I thought if they gave me 2 or 3 years or something.
So what is the deal at this point?
So she calls the U.S. attorney. I remember that's when she hangs up the phone. Right. She says, okay, well, give me your phone number and I'll call you back.
Yeah, sounds good.
And I went, yeah, I don't know. You'll probably try. Yeah, I don't want to do that because you'll probably triangulate this call. And she goes, get over yourself. You're not that important. And I remember thinking, feeling like, yeah, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, you're not a terrorist. Like, this isn't CSI. They can't go on their laptop and go, and it triangulates. Like, I was like, yeah, okay, yeah. And then I thought about it. I was like, I don't know. I just felt like, I said, yeah, you know what? I'll just call you back. She goes, all right, whatever. So I hang up. I was going to call her back in 2 hours. So I hang up the phone. And I later found out when I ordered the Freedom of Information Act that she actually hung up the phone, immediately called.
I already know.
Yeah, she immediately called U.S. Marshals.
Yeah.
U.S. Marshals tried to triangulate it. They couldn't because the phone was shut off. So they then called Virgin Mobile.
Good thing you shut the phone off.
Right. They called Virgin Mobile. They found out where that phone had been sold, and where the phone number had been issued, where the phone had been sold. And they found the location, and they immediately dispatched 2 U.S. Marshals to that location. I'm sitting in the subway that's inside the gas station, hanging out. I'm playing on my computer, thinking, "What scam am I going to run next? What do I need? I need IDs. I got to find it. Got to get a virtual office. I'm going to have to get some voicemails. I need this. What do I do first? Oh, business cards. So I'm making lists. I'm a list guy.
You're an organized kind of man.
I'm all boop, 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 boop. And so I'm doing the whole thing and waiting, and these fucking guys are like racing all the way there. Anyway. So what happens is I called her. I did actually called her back, and she still hadn't talked to the U.S. attorney, so I hung up.
Right.
And then I said, "Fuck it, I'm leaving." So I go get my U-Haul van, and I'm driving my U-Haul truck or whatever it was, Ryder or whatever. So I'm dry. I get on the interstate.
You are not incognito at all.
Oh,
bro.
I'm no. And the only ID I have is an ID that I know the FBI and U.S. Marshals know who that person is.
So that's scratched.
Yeah, so it's like if I get pulled over, I'm going to hand them the ID and hope that the local cop doesn't catch it. But I'm really just driving around bad ID.
So at this point, if you get pulled over, as long as the
I'm
cops, even if they don't run an NCIC check on you, like if it's
I'm
just a
assuming
local,
I'm assuming they would have put out like a massive every state, but I could be wrong. Maybe I would have been good. So, but I'm scared. You know, I'm freaking out.
I would say so. Yeah.
I get in my truck. I start driving. In my mind, I always think that I left as the U.S. Marshals were pulling in. You know what I'm saying?
You probably did, though, in all
them.
reality.
I don't know if it was 30 minutes later or it was 5 minutes, but whatever it was, I missed them. So I get on the interstate. I'm driving. Candace called her on back. And I said, hey, did you talk to the U.S. attorney? She's like, yeah, I did. She's like, I got you a deal. She's 7 years. 7 years? Like, that doesn't sound like much of a deal.
No.
So, and I'm like, 7 years? And I said, okay, so where would I even turn myself in? Like I can go to Georgia. No, she said 7 years. Come to but you got to turn yourself in Tampa. And I went, well, I'm closer to Atlanta. Why wouldn't I just turn myself in there? She's like, look, you need to come to Tampa. Do not go to Atlanta. She goes, I can have you meet us at your parents' house, and I'll let you spend a couple hours with your parents, and you can meet your son.
She's giving that sweetheart deal.
And I'll have Caleb, my ex-wife, she goes, I'll have Caleb bring your son by so you can visit with him, and I'll let you stay there for, she's out 2 or 3 hours, however long you need.
And we'll have 2 strippers come over and
exactly.
they'll blow you.
Like, I'm thinking,
what the fuck?
But I know when I'm being worked.
She wants to get credit for your capture.
Right, because the Secret Service were out of Atlanta, Georgia, and they were looking for me, and the FBI was out of Tampa, and the FBI wanted to catch. They both wanted to catch me because they don't work together. People think, oh, they're all together. They work together. No, they don't.
They're in competition with each other.
Right. So she and I start going back and forth, and I'm saying I'm not turning myself in for 7 years. And
Is that the first time you've ever heard, like, I could be getting 7 years, that a number thrown at you?
Yes, because I had always kind of thought 5. Well, I think I thought 5 or 10 years. Like I never really thought.
Yeah.
I think I did think 5 or 10
But
years.
what did 7 years look like in your head at that time?
Like that was forever.
Right.
Forever.
Like you get 10 years, people are like, oh, I got life.
Right.
But really, in all reality,
it's gonna pass.
But at that time, it's like, fuck.
But that's like me thinking. Even then, me thinking when I eventually got sentenced and I was gonna get out at 60 years old. Like I was like, oh my God, I'll be dead. Like, no, believe it or not, there's people that are 60 that are alive. And, of course, I got out when I was 49. I'm 52 now, but I got out basically at 50. And it's like if you said you were going to get out when you're 50, I'd have still been like, 50? My life's over.
How much time did you do total?
Almost 13 years.
13 fucking years, bro.
Yeah, but the first 10 years is the hardest. So anyway,
why do you say that?
I'm just fucking with you, bro.
No, okay.
What the fuck? It's all hard.
I thought there was like this trick you were gonna tell me. Fuck.
10 years is hard because 10 years is forever.
Yeah.
I say that, people are like, they always start going, "Oh my God!"
Bro, I remember
like
I had
10 years
15.
is horrible.
I had 15 years hanging over my head one time, and I thought I was just like, bro, I'm gonna get to prison and find some heroin and just fucking end it.
Oh yeah.
On a 15-year, and I was like 23, I think.
You know what's funny? Because I got 26. I used to. There were times I would lay in bed and I would think, I'm gonna, like, I have severe depression. And I used to think, I'm gonna, like, how can I kill myself? How can I kill myself? Like, and then, then I start thinking to myself, no, you know what you do? Like, you're a narcissist. You're not gonna kill yourself. You're gonna wait this out and get out and then kill everybody to put you here. That's my first thought.
So you were homicidal at that point.
And for the first couple of years. And then eventually you start realizing, I got to that point where it's like, I put me here. Nobody else put me here.
You accepted the fact.
Yeah, accepted the fact that I'm the one. All my decisions led me here. Doesn't matter whether you told on me or he told on me or he didn't help this or she did this or I did this or if he'd only done this. Motherfucker, you put yourself in that position. You can't be blaming everybody else. I did that. So, listen, when I got out, I contacted almost everybody that would talk to me. I contacted every person that cooperated against me. I called them up and I apologized to them.
Damn.
I literally, like, Allison Arnold.
What made you do that?
Because I realized in prison they did the right thing. And for me to hate someone because they were just being a decent citizen and they did the right thing. And I put them in that situation. I knew you were committing crime. If I was really your friend, I would have said, whoa, this is me, because I don't need you to help me.
Right.
I'm a one-man crime wave. Like, I'll go fucking steal $10 million. I don't need none of your help. I only brought you in because it made it easier for me. I wasn't doing you a favor. I told myself I was, but I really wasn't.
Yeah, you were justifying.
It's just a scumbag move on my part. And then I blame you? Yeah, bro, help me. Walk in and sign these papers on this thing right here, and I'll give you a couple $1,000s, bro. Yeah, do this. Well, and I'm telling him, I'm helping him. No, I'm not. I'm helping him commit felonies and go to prison. I could have done that.
But that's 99% of the crimes that happen just like that.
Right. So you justify it to yourself, and I just realized that none of that was true, and I'm smart enough to know better, and I didn't.
Well, I got to ask, what did the people say when you apologized? Because that's not,
like my friend Allison.
That's not normal.
Yeah, I know. All of them are cool. I talk to this guy. I talk to Eric all the time. I talk to Allison. I used to talk to Becky, but I don't talk to Becky anymore. I don't talk to Becky anymore because when I got out, I called her. I talked to her. I told her I was sorry. I told her I messed up. I said I never should have involved. Rebecca Houck's the chick that kept the fucking $500,000 and let me and gave me $100,000 and I kicked rocks.
Fucking Becky.
So I contacted her when I got out and same that she'd been remarried, has a kid. I was like, that's great, good for you. Talked to her and everything. We were really texting all the time. And then I ended up doing a Bubba the Love Sponge show. Actually, you know what? Becky contacted me. I couldn't figure out how to find her. She contacted me because she saw me on Concrete. But then we started texting, and I said, hey, look, my fault. I never should have brought you with me. It was totally my fault. She's like, no, I knew what I was doing. And so we were going back and forth. And then at one point, I went on Bubba the Love Sponge show. And when we were there, Bubba was like, what's up with Becky? She's kind of hot, bro. You like that? I said, yeah. I said, well, what attracted you to her? I said, well, I grew up in Florida, so I'm kind of partial to white trash. I said, there's nothing like a dirty foot. You know what I'm saying, Bubba? So I'm joking around. What I didn't know was Becky's new husband was watching the show. Oh. He contacts Becky and says, hey, your ex-boyfriend's on the fucking show. She contacts, as soon as she gets on the show, she hears me saying, white trash, dirty foot, the whole thing.
Damn.
So she starts texting me saying, stop calling me white trash.
But her husband's seeing it now too.
He's seeing it, didn't know we were even talking. So I don't know what happened with that.
Man, you're always getting in some shit with people,
I guess
bro.
There's some issues. So anyway, what happens is I'm talking to Candace on the phone, right? The FBI agent. Right. So we're going back and forth. And then finally what happens is I get her to a position where I'm like, look, she keeps dodging the fact that I keep asking her, this includes everything, right? Everything. She keeps dodging that. Finally, I tell her what's going on in Atlanta. Like, I've done other crimes you guys don't know about. There are other houses. There's like $1.3 million that I'd stolen.
Yeah, you've been everywhere.
Everywhere. I've been smashing, different.
Mad Cox don't fuck off,
right.
ladies and gentlemen.
So I mean, I've gotten a couple. Like it's up to around $2 million just on the run. So I tell her, look, I mean, there's other stuff, and I say I got to turn myself in, but I want to make sure I'm covered. And she ends up telling me that, and I'm still not going to turn myself in. Like, I never really was that really. I figured if I could get it down a couple of years, but so she ends up telling me that her deal only covers at Tampa. It doesn't cover anything else. And I was like, oh, hell no. Like, I mean, I catch her.
Yeah, that's a weed in the field.
And I told her the whole time, like, look, I need everything.
Right.
So I realize now she's talking about 7 years. So I'm probably looking at 14 or 15 years for everything. And I just said, yeah, listen, I'm not turning myself in. And she goes, no, don't hang up. Listen. She said, I can call the Atlanta U.S. attorney. I said, man, I wouldn't believe you if you told me the water was wet. And I threw the phone out the window. So I keep going. Oh, listen, I mean, she's lying to me. I can't trust her.
Yeah.
So I keep going.
I mean, you knew that from the beginning, though.
No, I didn't, because initially, I was talking to I'm talking to an FBI agent. Like, I'm thinking, I don't know. I'm thinking that they're trustworthy, that they won't lie to you, they can't do this.
What every normal citizen thinks.
Like, this is the creme de la creme of law enforcement. This is, and really, they're basically beat cops. They're just as much
that can do whatever the fuck they want.
Right. That they have carte blanche.
And say whatever they want.
Absolutely. People don't even realize that. So I drive all the way to Charlotte. I drop off the U-Haul truck. I get a taxi because there's no Uber at that time. I get a taxi to my apartment complex, and I go upstairs, or I didn't get into my apartment because I know by this point, I know the FBI.
They know everything.
The FBI
now.
and Secret Service know everything because I was caught in the bank and they caught me in
Right.
that last scam, but I got out of it. So they know where I'm at. They got my tag to my car, so they know where I live. So I know they know.
Yep.
So I go there and I think, well, they don't necessarily know where a car is. So let me see if my car's there. So I go into the apartment complex, go into the parking garage, and I see my car. And I thought, my car's still here. And I sat there and I went, it was a G35, Infinity G35, brand new.
Nice,
right? Nice car. And I'm looking and I look around. There's nobody staking it out. It's a parking garage. It's pretty easy to figure it out. So I get my car started up. I'm like, fuck, I'm good. Start driving. As soon as I pulled out of the parking garage, I was like, I'm good. I'm done. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go. So I'm gonna drive to I'm driving to on a bad ID. I'm gonna go to Nashville because I like country music. So.
So why'd you go to Nashville?
Country music.
Okay.
They have country music in Nashville.
I just don't see that, but all right.
In Nashville?
No, I don't see you in Nashville.
I love
bebopping around to fucking country music.
I love country music. So people,
it's all right. We all make mistakes.
This is the common thing, by the way. The common thing is that everybody hears me, talks to me, meets me, and thinks they know me. That's very common. Like women, like guys will be like, "Oh yeah, you like this kind of girl." I don't like the kind of girl.
I did that with you.
Right.
I did that.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody does. Even the girls do it. Like I like chicks with tattoos.
I thought you were full of shit.
Bro, you've seen every
I'm
chick
like,
I've dated. And literally guys will be like, "Well, bro, hey, check her out." And I'm like, I mean, she's cute, but
she's bougie.
Yeah. Like she's got a ton of fucking makeup on. She's high fucking maintenance. Like I can't.
You like a chick you can go out to the
can't.
swimming hole with and catch gar and shit.
Yes. I like a chick that will get into an argument with you and call the fucking cops, but she'll bail you out the next day. You know what I'm saying?
No. We don't want chicks that call the cops.
I'm just saying I like a chick that will wrestle with you, that will punch you in the arm if you fuck up, that won't put up with my shit, because I'll run all over some fucking soft ass chick.
Yeah. I see that all day long.
Whatever you want, I'll just that poor chick, and then I'll get bored because now I'm running.
Because you're done playing with her,
right? I've run over you completely. So yeah, I can't deal with that. But it's the same thing. It's like then when I would go into my house and I'm like, you go in my house, and I'm like, oh yeah, who painted that? I painted those. Man, you didn't paint those.
Yeah, right.
You didn't paint those, bro. Go on my Instagram account, Cox Pop Art.
Yeah.
I painted every painting.
I didn't think
that's
that
how I make
either.
my living. I paint. Nobody believes me. Like, if I didn't have the time-lapse videos, I don't think anybody believe I paint my paintings.
I didn't until I saw it.
I used to go into
But you're fire, bro. I'll give it to you. You didn't definitely paint good.
Like, I would go into I'd go into houses, I'd rehab houses, and I put in oh, man, who did the hardwood floors? I did. Man, you didn't do those hardwood. You don't know how to do hardwood floors.
But aren't all con men, like, good at a bunch of different shit?
I mean, I don't know.
Like matchstick men type shit?
They were good at a bunch of different cons.
Yeah, they were really good at cons.
The hardwood floors is not cons. Painting is not cons.
But a con man has to be diversified, and I think you kind of you kind of fit that. You know what I mean?
I can talk about a lot of different things, yes. So I don't ever talk about anything I don't.
Well, let's talk about what happened with this fucking FBI
well, you're the one
agent.
that went off.
I know. I get confused sometimes.
So I pull in. I'm in the parking garage. I pull out of the parking garage, and I pull immediately. I think I'm going to Nashville, but I need some Starbucks. Got to get some Starbucks real quick for the ride. Get some food.
Flick them off one last time.
I pull up right up in front of the Starbucks, get out, walk into the Starbucks, order my drink, go to stand next to the barista, wait for my drink, and I turn around. There's two people from the apartment complex, like the leasing agents. And they're staring at me, and they're looking at each other. They look panicked. They start whispering, they're pointing, they're glancing, like they're freaking out. And it was like the 5th or the 6th of the month. My rent was due on the 1st. And I remember thinking, I haven't paid my rent. Like I had gone to Houston, remember?
Yeah.
I'd gone to Houston, so I didn't have a chance to pay my rent. And why would I pay my fucking rent anyway?
You're leaving.
I was abandoning.
Right.
So now I'm sitting there going, they're really taking this shit seriously. Like I owned like 55 rental units at one point. Like I've never got out. Out. Like, what's the big deal? What do you even care? It's you don't even own the place. So they're looking. So finally, the woman bolts out the back of the Starbucks.